Hi Sparkies, you are so close to completion of your Wing Runner Handbook. In this final section, you have been examining ways to live your life in ways that are pleasing to God. God is pleased when we are kind to one another, when we are tender-hearted toward one another, when we forgive one another, and when we do not grumble or complain when asked to do something. Page 102 in your Wing Runner book had a Sparks Good Attitude rules. We maybe should have gone over those at the beginning of the season. To complete Green Jewel 4.3, you need to be able to tell your leader those rules. Here they are. Wait your turn. Obey your leaders cheerfully. Share. Don't make fun of others. And be helpful. Now, perhaps the hardest part of this section is completing the At My Home Today chart. There are 5 areas where you will need to demonstrate a good attitude at home, and not just for one day. You need to do each of them for 5 days. Once you have completed the chart, your parent or the grown-up who takes care of you will sign your handbook on page 103. If you're not quite finished with your chart, you'll still have another week. Every action listed in the chart relates to one of the verses that you've learned over the last 2 weeks. The first one, I obeyed cheerfully. That's like Philippians 2:14, which said, do all things without grumbling or disputing. So if Mom asks you to clear the table after dinner and you say something like, why do I have to do it? I did it last night. You have not obeyed cheerfully. What if instead you said, that was a great dinner, Mom, and then got right up and cleared the table? The second one says, I shared with others. Now that one reminds me of Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another. So have you ever heard these words? Share that with your brother or share that with your sister. You heard that because whoever was in charge of you at that moment observed that you were not sharing. Now, I understand that not everything is meant to be shared. Your toothbrush, for instance. But it is kind to share with others. All right, the next one says, I didn't argue or complain. Well, that's Philippians 2:14. Do all things without grumbling or disputing. When a person in authority, a parent, a teacher, a crossing guard at school, asks you to do something, arguing or complaining won't help. Unless they are asking you to do something that breaks one of God's rules, your response needs to be obedience. And if you obey cheerfully, all the better. The next one is, I helped with something. That's like Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted. So if you see somebody struggling with a task, go help. Is someone having trouble opening a door because her arms are full? Go open the door. Is your little brother or sister having trouble reaching something? Go get it for them. Did Mrs. Karen forget where she put her glasses? Kindly tell her they are on top of her head. The last one is to show my love for others. I did something for, and you fill in the blank with a name. That one is like Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another. See, doing something for someone else to show love doesn't have to be a big deal. It could be a smile to someone who you can tell is having a rough day. Now, don't go smile at 5 people and think you're finished with this section. I just want you to understand that showing love doesn't have to be a big deal like going and building a house for a homeless person. That would certainly be a loving thing to do, but you're not at a point in your life when it's something that you can do. So figure out how you can show love to someone and do that. Now, Mrs. Caitlin will be back with you next week to teach your last lesson of the season. Work this week on living your life in a way that is pleasing to God, and your chart will be easy peasy lemon squeezy to complete. I'll see you next week, Sparkies.